friend, it's Jen. When I sat down to figure out what I wanted to discuss today, I realized that today's coffee break might just be more for me than it is for you. And if that happens to be the case and it doesn't really help you out today, it's all good. Maybe instead you hear something and it helps you out later on in life. But either way, I'm going to be about it and share today's message. Just like one of my absolute favorite Peloton coaches, Dennis Morton, once said, be what you need. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to share with you the message that I need in this moment. Today, I'm here showing up and authentically saying that sometimes I get discouraged. Now, if you're anything like me, there are days when you are on fire doing what you love. When things are in flow, creativity is endless, energy is just buzzing. When time ceases to exist and the world fades away because we're absolutely consumed with our passion and excitement. Madly, recklessly, messily in love with what we're doing. And on those days, it's absolute bliss. But then there are other days when things get a little more challenging, when we're hit with tasks that obstruct our clarity, when we're slapped with a no, when we really needed or wanted a yes, when we're bogged down with the nitty-gritty, when the haters come out and scoff or mock or belittle our dreams and work, when the rushing waters of flow suddenly seem to slow to a trickle. Well, on those days when it's time to dig in your heels and find your commitment and your tenacity is tested, this is for those days. Doing what we love, it's the best, right? The popular saying of, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It sounds so good, but can it possibly be true? Well, yes. And no, it comes down to how we decide to look at work. How is our energy in regards to the task? Where is our resistance? What's causing the disruption in our flow? Is it expectations? Is it fear? Is it lack of clarity? Is it all of the above and then some? When these slower days show up and we have to put in the hard work, know that it doesn't have to be hard. Hard is in our mind. It's our perception of the work. Something that I have really been working on is changing that. And instead of thinking of it as a challenge, I'm transforming my perception, the way I think of work, and changing it into worth it work, paying the dues work, releasing the brakes work. I find that the more I resist, the harder it gets to me. The work or the task itself doesn't actually change. I just get better. No matter what, it still must be done. The task remains the same, but I can change the way that I approach it, frame it, or choose to view it. When the passion starts to wane and I find myself struggling to move forward, I first have to recognize this and then come back to me, getting out of my own head. Because in my head, that's where the doubt lives. That's where the excuses live. That's where the actual hard lives. If instead, I can come back to me, my passion, and realize that I get to do this. I am able to do this. I want to do this. I choose to do this. Then I know that I'm fueling the right energy and I can move forward once again. I can come back to my joy. And then the hard doesn't have to be so hard. I can step back and without frustration, stress, resentment, or anger, I can look again and see if there's another way. An alternate solution, a means of getting assistance, or another route, angle, or approach. And if there isn't, which is hardly ever the case, then at least I know I can move forward with less resistance and a shift in my mindset and energy. Now, as an entrepreneur, I know that very often it initially takes a tremendous amount of effort to get a business up and running. And even with all of the hard work aside, it can sometimes be discouraging when the financial abundance hasn't quite kicked in yet. Now, while we'll save that conversation on money mindset for another coffee break, I do want to share with you a very crucial piece of information for you to keep as a foundational belief. The work that you're doing, the work that you're called to do, that you love to do, that work that you're doing tirelessly, it is deserving of massive compensation. And if you know that you deserve this, not because of the hard work or that you're doing the most, but rather, as one of my coaches, Amanda Francis, says, you deserve it simply because you do. If you believe this to your core and you know it with every cell in your body, then financial success becomes inevitable. And until that time hits, and as you continue to show up for your work, continue to grow and build and develop and learn and perfect your craft, you may come into contact with the occasional deflator. You know the ones. They suck the air out of your sails. They bring down your vibe. They can make you question yourself or your goals. They start to spew out doubt and disbelief. And during this time, those people who question you, why you're doing this, and ask you if you're sure that you want to keep pursuing this path, well, they may try to talk you out of your dreams, saying that they don't get it, or that they don't understand why you're doing this. But my friend, I want you to know, it's not for them to understand. I read something on social media the other day that said, your calling wasn't a conference call. So let their words go. There's no need to pick up and carry their doubt. There's no need to shrink and become smaller to make them feel more comfortable. To move forward and succeed, you don't need anyone's approval or for any naysayers to understand, because you know why you're doing this. Doing what you love is for the love of doing. It's not about the money. The money will come, yes, if you want it to, but do it for the love, not for the exchange of pieces of paper. Who is your work for? What is worth all of this effort and energy? Why are you doing this? Let that be what pulls you forward. Let that be your reward. Then you've made the statement true. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. So take up space, press forward, rise. Shine bright, you've got this. I'm Jen, and I want to wish you a life abundant with joy, my friend. Cheers.